Craig, how do you feel? Another 80 minutes away from another grand final?
Yeah, it's sort of probably having a few mixed feelings at the moment. I thought we really started the game well, but I thought we lost our way with the ball a bit. I think what hung us in today's game was our defence. I thought that really improved, but I just thought we struggled a bit with our attack. Not quite sure why, but just like a bit of communication was out there for a bit. But you got to give the Bulldogs a lot of credit too. They had a few injuries there, and they had to move different people to different positions and whatever. But they kept fighting all the way. So, but like I say, it's really nice to be in another prelim, and I think the nicest thing, especially for the players at this time of year, they get a week off. A week off playing. So that's the thing that hopefully we can use well and freshen up a little bit. For 2 weeks' time.
Big decision tonight to go with Jonah and Pezet to start, paid off. Why did you go that way, and how impressed were you with him?
I thought he had his moments. There was a couple of times there where, again, probably not playing, with the other guys that often, was an issue. But he done a great job tonight. And the reason we went with him, he's like a more of an organising half, and he's got a really good kicking game, and that's why we went with him, tonight. We've had. Usually sort of takes that role, when he's playing, but with Munn and Wish, that they really good ball runners and great competitors, but we just thought, we needed someone out there that, just someone whose strength is organising, then add a bit of kick into it, and like I say, he done a really good job tonight.
Is that a horses for courses thing? Is just for this game, or are you likely to stay that way?
Again, a little bit of horses for courses. So we'll see who we're playing next game, and go from there. I don't put any pressure on him, but I think there's a rough chance that Yuzi might be back. So like I say, we'll hopefully we can make that decision as soon as possible, and then just get it organised, and then the team can train as a team, especially the week leading into our next game.
Do you give him every chance, Craig, or do you, like with Jerome, up a tool, or you make a call early?
Yeah, it's a good question. We'll probably make the call reasonably early, or we'd like to, but again, we've got to, like if you ask the player, they'll be ready to go, but you've got to, ask the medical people, and so, we'll go through that, and we'll see how he is on Monday, Tuesday, and then, probably make the call there, I'd say.
Are you a little bit more hesitant this time around, given what happened when you sort of came back from court?
Probably not. No, like I say, just sometimes those things can happen, and it doesn't go to plan. You like things to go to plan at this time of year, especially the next game. But if the medical people are not sort of basically 100% sure, or close to that, well, we'll probably leave him out. But again, we'll see what they think, and then we'll see how he's feeling, and then go from there.
Is Cameron Munster's leg okay?
Yeah, I don't think it's great, but I don't think I don't think it's anything too serious. He was just talking to me about it then, so he said it's really sore, but he'll be right.
You cracked a smile as Will was scoring. What were the emotions like as he was streaking over?
Yeah, he hasn't played for a while, Will, so I can imagine he was reasonably tired in that run, and we were pretty lucky that the Bulldogs wing was pretty tired too, I think. So Yeah, but like I say, it was a great effort from him, and like he kept backing himself, even though he come up with a couple of errors in the first half, and obviously that's not what we want or need, but it happened. But that's, and you got to deal with that, and I was so happy that he did deal with that and still kept playing, and I thought his contribution for the game was really impressive with the amount of time that he's missed.
As a leader, you see obviously the full stories of what goes on behind the scenes with players. To see someone like Jonah Pezet step up today after the injuries he's had and sort of the last 2 years, how satisfying is that for you and for the playing group?
Yeah, I think it's I know you singled out Pez there, and I think he's done a really good job over the last 12, 18 months with his development, and obviously having that injury, the way he sort of went about his business with his rehab and coming in every day, trying to be a good addition to the team and get better and make the place better. I think that's only served him well. But I think there's a lot of guys in our team that, I think they performed well tonight. Big Stefano, he was good. First finals game, Valu had to be a bit flexible and played on the left edge there, and same thing, first finals game, and he was unreal tonight as well. And there's plenty of guys in our team that really stood up tonight. I think Pez was one of them, but there was a number of them throughout the team, and like you said, I think these moments now of being able to enjoy that for Jonah makes it all the sweeter, all the more sweeter for staying in it throughout those hard times.
Craig, from the coaching perspective, at half time the game's nice and tight. What are some of the key elements in the messaging to the group? Because you're trying to stay in the fight. Do you have to be calm? Do you have to, or do you just have to go about it and try to say the big moment will come when you can break them, as you did in the latter part of the game?
I just basically tell them what I think we need to know, or what I'm seeing up in the box. Sometimes it might not be the right thing, I don't know, but that's my opinion. So, again, it's not just my opinion at half time that gets said to the group. The Harry and the leaders there, our spine, they've always got an opinion on things as well. So, like I say, we all have a quick chat before, as soon as we get in the rooms, and then, if we're in agreement on things, that's what that's the message we give to the group.
Does that now have the impact? I mean, a few weeks ago, confidence was a bit there, but a win like this in a big finals game must give the group now amazing confidence going into a preliminary final at home, and the prospects beyond that. Oh yeah,
again, with all due respect, I think we can sort of play better than we did tonight, to be quite honest. And I think just talking to the leaders after the game, I think we all agree our first 10 or 15 minutes was really good. That's the way we want to play our footy, but we probably lost our way a little bit then with our attack. And what probably hasn't been our strength this year has been our defence, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks. But I thought that was what really got us home tonight. And I'm sure we'll all work in the next 2 weeks just to improve those things that we need to improve on. But at the end of the day, hopefully we can defend like that again. But also look at that and improve in some ways as well. So, like I say, it's going to be nice to have a bit of a recovery, but at the same time, we need to get things right and be at our peak, in 2 weeks' time.
Craig, I know you've had lots of different successes and things over the years, but what does having, I think it's a 10th prelim in 11 years, what's that mean to you to have the Storm at this level of success?
I didn't sort of know that stat. I think someone said it earlier. That's a pretty good record, to be quite honest. So at the end of the day, we've had some wonderful players here, and I think our biggest, strength has always been we've had a really strong, spine in leaders, and the other strength I think is everybody in the club knows what their role is, and they work bloody hard to get it done. That's players, coaches, strength conditioning coach, physios, whatever. Everyone knows what their role is. That's the most important thing, and then the care that the people have got, they do that job the best they can.
Cameron Serrano seemed to take issue in here before about the slow play in the ruck. Did you see any issue out there? Not live. We'll have a look at it tomorrow. I'll have a look at it tomorrow, and just the one thing I sort of noticed today, again, it might have been slow play, the balls might not have been, but it seems as though the league's got a different opinion of hip drops now. It didn't matter before about hip drops. I don't think any player goes out there to drop their hip on the back of someone's leg. But in the past, we've had players, and other clubs have had players that have been suspended for that. But all of a sudden now it seems to be it's an accident. So anyway, that's what I took out of the game.